hardly a whisker left on that sheep, and down the hole it goes. Okay, guys, move off and we'll have heat number 7 onto the board. Heat 7 is Peter Jackson, Tristan McKay, and Terry Edmonds on 3, Aaron Haynes on 4, Tamanini on 5, and Don Crawford on stand number 6. Tristan McKay on 2, Peter Jackson 1. Two Shears, stands 5 and 6. Tamanini, Don Crawford. If the track's running, you'll be left behind.
Yeah, competitors in Heat 8.
Sheds that do have open or say slatted doors for their catching pens. Unsure why that they'd want to let the sheep know what's going on out on front, but there is the case where especially some of the older sheds have had the open slated doors on the front so the sheep can see out. Here we have Peter Jackson from Palmerston, no relation to the film director. He's directing his own film up here at the moment as he goes round the back of the head on the front stand. Tristan McKay from Wairarapa drops into the long blow now. There's a few boys from Wairarapa here this year. Maybe they're hoping to seek a bit of favour from one of the judges from up that way. Turuhui Edmonds from Wairarapa, a young fellow with a lot of promise. He's on stand number 3. Aaron Haynes from Fielding. He comes under the shoulder and down and out to the flank. Out the last leg, he's sweeping it along quite easily. Tamanini, the Gisborne lad on stand number 5. And Don Crawford down on stand number 6, rocking out the last leg. He's going to be the last. Oh no, he might have been last onto the board here today, but he's not going to be last off with his first sheep, and that's for sure. As he rocks it down, the poor old says, I'm out of here, I'm on getting another one. 1 minute 30 gone, so yeah, it's still a little bit slow. They need to punch it along. I know Tamanini here will start to lift the game to me. And I'm sure he's got the quality to go with it.
You sure did right, Tamanini. He's from the Gisborne area. Everybody up in Gisborne knows Tama is the man to beat. He's up there putting out huge numbers every day consistently. Very good shearer, very quick hand. And, he's not a bad role model for a lot of the young guys in that area. We've got DJ Crawford there on stand number 6. This is his first year up in the open class, and he's not struggling too much with the speed, because a lot of these senior shearers, when they get up into the open, they sort of struggle a little bit, but DJ, he's got plenty of speed to burn. Aaron Haynes from Fielding. If you haven't have a look in last year's program. For last year's final, Aaron was second in the open. Very, very clean shearer. And he's very, very focused. We've got Tootie Edmonds on stand number 3. He's from Wairarapa. Tootie's been making a lot of semi-finals just lately. Very, very focused young man, and it's good to see him up there getting stuck right into it. Tristan Mackey on 2. Haven't seen Tristan around for a little while, but good to see him up there. He hasn't lost it, still got that nice. He's been in Mackay. Tristan Mackay is his name, sorry. Haven't seen him around for a while. He's one of these shearers, just floats around, got the nice, easy Māori boy rhythm. And you'll see him later on. His quality is usually fairly good. And you should see him and get it through into that top 30. We've got Peter Jackson on 1. Peter Jackson and his father brought a farm just out of Dannyvirk. But as I understand it, Peter's been living in Palmerston North for the last year and a bit. A few more opportunities over there for him, Gerald.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of people who've shorn their way into farms. By jolly, there is. Things are a wee bit tight right now, but shearing's a good cash flow. It's one way you can do it. Farming's always can be just that. Sometimes you make a living and you could put some bread on the table and the likes. And other years are good and other years aren't so good. So very good if you have something like this here you can fall back on in situations like of now where you can go out shearing and supplement your income by banging out, especially if you're as skilled as Peter Jackson here. You can pump out 300 to 400 and all of a sudden you can got a good cash flow going. And these fellas are strong, so they can do a day's shearing and then they can do a day's work on the farm, especially during daylight saving. No harm in going out and shearing a few of your own sheep after tea or jumping on the tractor and putting it 2 or 3 hours in there cultivating a bit of work or baling a bit of baleage. So that's what can happen there. A little beauty here for Tristan Mackay. Look at that one on stand 2 there. But it's going to sit for him, which it doesn't seem to be all that keen at the moment. He gets that shot in, so he decides if you're going to sit for even half a second, I'll just fire that one straight down. He won't be finding that too funny all the same. 1, 2 blows up the back now. And Turai Edmonds, well, I'm quite impressed with what I've seen so far. He is shearing really, really well here. Look at that blow. Hardly a movement, just flicks that hand. These are the type of people that they video themselves, ladies and gentlemen, to see their return blow, how high it is off the skin on the return, because that's the higher they go, the further the ground you've got to cover to the re-entry and the likes. So just take note of that. And Aaron Haynes, of course, very, very, very clean. Got second last year, as Tuma told you, but he wasn't in amongst all the glitz and glamour when it come to the speed stakes. But when it come to the podium, here he was, second place. So watch out. Watch the space of Aaron Haynes this year again, ladies and gentlemen. He really does have a super job. So let's look upstairs, and that's telling you something already. He's at 1.3 on the board. Okay, so he's the best in this heat by a margin at this stage. So onto the shoulder he goes too. Tama Nia. Well, he was in the top 30 last year too. He had the privilege, and you'll have it tonight, where we pulled the steps out and we announced the top 30 under all the lights and colour and all the drama. And Tama, he would have loved that. And up he jumped. He's sure on the front stand down here actually. And up he jumped and he went pretty well. So he'll be hoping to go a wee bit further this time, make the top 30, reset the mind, reset the gear and get in amongst it and see if he can make that top 6 and go from there. Obviously he's a speedster up here up north. And there's plenty of shearers that do that nowadays. These tallies are real, ladies and gentlemen. Once upon a time, a gun shearer was a shearer who could consistently shear 300. And nowadays, well, they do 4s and 5s consistently. It's just a step up in all the training. It's a step up in the quality of the gear, the machines that run the handpieces, all those sorts of things. And just the mentality, the work ethics, the training that they put in, all those sorts of things. But could you imagine shearing 500 lambs every day? A phenomenal effort. The energy expended is just mind-blowing. It's presumably supposed to be the equivalent of a marathon run, and they do that day in and day out. Scientifically, we're not supposed to do, shearers aren't supposed to do what they do every day, but the truth is that no one's really told the shearer not to do it, so he just carries on expending that much energy. And there we go, Aaron Haynes, ladies and gentlemen, from Fielding. He's done that 6, and once again the heat is 7 minutes 30-ish. So we seem to be sitting around there for whatever reason. We all had a strong feeling in the commentary box they would go quicker than that. but obviously they are very dry cutting. We can tell that there's not a lot of linen and grease in there, which causes more friction. You've got to grab hold of that handpiece and you've got to push that baby. So there's all those issues to go with it. So super stuff. Out to the toenails goes Nia. He'll be in for the red button. The speedster, there he goes. He doesn't muck around to get in the clock stop. Edmonds has done the same thing. Down on the front stand will be Peter Jackson. He's wrapped up too, ladies and gentlemen. Tristan Mackay throws a leg over and locks it up. On the bottom stand, we hadn't forgotten about your mate, Don Crawford. Once again, journey home. She wants to do a bit of dancing. He pauses for a moment, says, settle down here and lift the head forward. Didn't even miss a shot. Out to the toenails he goes. And we're in, we're up to heat number 7. Leaves 5 in the wings. They'll be sitting in the audience somewhere watching all the action. Give them a round of applause, please, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, thanks, fellas. Competitors, heat 8. We'll have you upstairs, please. Dino Smith on 1. Timahana Kariuria on 2. Daniel McIntyre. Shearing on 3. Dion Morell. Stand 4. Emily Welch and Richard Pearson. Heat 9. Roland Smith. Martini Mason. Shannon Warness. Dion King. Tony Costa. Troy Piper. Heat 10, Nathan Stratford, Sam Welsh, Justin Dolphin, Mark Granger, John Kirkpatrick.
Righto, looks like we're about ready to go. We're just seeing how the red light changes to green. It just happens automatically. There's a fella up there that just swings his arm around and brushes the wall, and away we have a green light. He's a wizard. We'll have the shearers on the board. Yes, thank you. There we have. There's those that are in front of the higher score than 42 are not going to make the top 30, are they? On the board, shearers. Okay, we're ready to roll. Timekeepers are right. Judges, competitors, go. 42 shearers have gone before us so far. Here we are. What are we in? Heat number 8. We're working away. That's 48 shearers according to me. 42 are on the board. Top one is Aaron Haynes. Peter Jackson's number 20. Dino Smith here on the front stand. He says, I want my time up here. He's from Gisborne. Alexander Tamihana Kararia. There on stand number 2. There we go. Daniel McIntyre, Australia, on stand number 3. Dion Morell from Alexander on stand number 2. Emily Welch. Hey, there's a second woman we've had up here in the open. Shearing away nicely on 5. Down on stand number 6. The ever-present Richard Pearson, commonly known as the Palm. Hey, crikey. He was down judging the wall pressing there earlier on today. No doubt he'll put his collar and tie on again tonight for the final. So there we go. This young fella on stand number 2, Tamihana, just got married yesterday apparently. Oh my goodness. And here he is back to work already. Great. Hey, beautiful stuff.
Costs a lot for a wedding these days.
Well, he's punishing himself. He's shearing left-handed. He must have done something really wrong last night. Hey, let's not chip him. He's doing a good job. He's got up there, and he's a lot more than a lot of other people have done. Once again, the outside points are on the in the pen, so he'll try and keep those ones. He's got 0-0, so he's obviously hasn't got a sheep judge yet, as Tamihana. Around the back, down into the first off shoulder he goes now, swinging around. Daniel McIntyre, the Australian, beady-eyed, he's worrying the wool off that sheep as he pulls it up against him and head between the knees there and rocks that across that last shoulder. Dion Morrell, he's an old crowd favourite from here, and that's for sure. He comes across the shoulder. Masterton lad originally, down from Alexandra these days, swooping out, beautiful style. Just watch this fella, he's poetry in motion. Beautiful, beautiful, mate. Then there's Emily Welsh up the long blow. She's a record holder herself in her own right. She can whip the wool off this young lady. Chucked away a shearing for a little bit, and but now she says, I'm keen to get back into it. They tell me she's even helping making a movie about the job. There goes Tamihana, sheep number 3 on the board for him. Dino Smith into the long blow. He goes on stand number 1. Well, it's a long time since we've had a lefty shearing in the middle of the field there, Tuma. We used to poke him away down the end, didn't we?
Yeah, it's the first time I've seen a lefty there, shearing in the middle of the field, John. But he's going along well at the moment. I think it's more inconvenience for these judges. These judges, they sort of need to move around a little wee bit different. With the training that's out there nowadays, they try and teach the lefties to shear right-handed, because a lot of the sheds and stuff that are out there are set up for right-handed shearers. So all the training that comes along now, they're taught to do it right-handed. But here we go. We got looking up at the points. You'll have a look on the pen points of Dion Morrell is 0.7. So he is absolutely shaving these sheep at the moment. We've got Daniel McIntyre. He's on stand number 3. He's with the Aussie team. Daniel came over last year, and the Aussie shearers had a good win against the Kiwis, as hard as it is to say. I'm just getting the evils from my co-commentators at the moment. Sorry about that, Gerald. But here we go. Daniel McIntyre into the undermine. He's quite comfortable with these crossbred sheep. Usually they tend to get left behind a little bit on the crossies, but these Aussie guys now, him and Shannon Warness, they've been over enough times to know their way around these sheep. Dion Morrell into the undermine. His quality points there are still pretty awesome. Even though this is not going to be the quickest time, with the quality points that these guys are putting out, you don't really need a real fast time. Emily Welch, she runs in. She's got another sheep on the board. She's got sheep number 4. We've just gone over 5 minutes and 10 seconds. So Emily will be very, very happy to be here shearing away. She hasn't got the kids, so she'll be letting her hair down this weekend, Sam. And down there on stand number 6, Richard Pearson. He's into the undermine as well. But all these shearers are going along very, very nicely. Dino Smith down here on stand number 1. He's got the black headband on, dropping into the long blow. Gerald, these guys, they seem to be going along very, very well.
Yeah, definitely, Tuma. Yeah, Richard Pearson down there, one of the officials here. Actually, you see him walking around in the blue shirts in between the pressing and shearing and the likes. So here he is. He's here anyway, he thought, so I might as well have a shear. So he lies it down, works his way, just puts 3 or 4 shots in there to get that big swooping long blow going. Keeps the head nice and low. You can see she wants to do a bit of fighting. He says, once again, I've been round the block a few times too. And we'll have to improvise and leave a really big last half. So he didn't go for that last big long blow shot. He thought, well, see all these wee shots here down in stand 6, folks. He's got a real big chunk of work to be done here, and it's a very vulnerable part of trying to hold on to a sheep, but she's just not playing the game at this stage. Emily Welsh, right, sheep 5, come with me. I'll put on a fresh cut We don't want to push these hand pieces half a sheet too far and realise, we're getting the drag and we're getting a bit of pinching and pulling of the skin, and the old sheep aren't too happy and they're going to give me a whole lot of jip for the last half. So she's off for a fresh cut, working the left hand and fires that shot down there. She's a beautiful little shearer. 1, 2 up the back. Then we have, well, it's beautiful, the right turn. Probably not a manly turn, but Dion Morel is a sensational, that's more better. Sensational shearer. He just drifts down there. His beautiful light hand that he has. He literally doesn't really touch the skin. They'll be as clean as a whistle, but he's literally carrying the handpiece round, which always becomes very, very quick. Dino Smith is wrapped up. Always becomes very, very quick because you've got very little friction actually of the comb being against the skin. You watch Dion Morel. He carries it. It's right on the skin, but just off the skin. And it can become a very quick style if you can do it. You can use sharper gear that will enter easier, but it works really well for him. And then there's different styles that they'll grab hold of that handpiece and really hold on to it and drive it. And that works for some people too, where they're good and stocky and bald and good and strong, and they just get into it. So Morel into the cheek ball now. Daniel McIntyre, yeah, it was, you're right, Tuma. The Aussies give us a bit of a beating here last year in the Trans-Tasman, but to their credit, it was a show of power shearing. It was a fantastic shear-off. Man, they are a powerful Aussie team, and they're going to take some beating tomorrow night as well, so all go. He does the finishing touches as well. Done job. We're just about wrapped up. Emily Welsh into the base of the ear, into the belly. That'll be the last one down there for Richard Pearson. Out the belly, swings the handpiece round. Thinking, oh, well, I may as well get up and have a go, all right. Travelled all these miles to be here. Morel's finished now. He wants to do some more. He set the handpiece down and said, oh, is that it for the day? Something in the water with these shearers. They've got tremendous longevity and endurance. It must be sheer fitness, a very high intensity sort of training every day. A lot of people go to the gym for 20 minutes, don't they, after tea to keep fit, John? But here they are. These guys do 8 to 9 hours every day that those sheep are dry. They are so-called making hay in their shearing the old sheep.
Yeah, I must have missed the bus when that training was going on. But good to see Emily Welsh. She's completed the task. Certainly a grand shearer and well capable of matching it with any of these males up here. A record holder in her own right as Richard comes under the shoulder. He's a little bit stiffer than he used to be 30 years ago. But he's still up there having a crack. He says, I can still blow him out. He's doing a couple of hundred a day. Hits the button and well done. Richard will now move on to heat number 9.
Here, number 9, open shearing elimination needs Golden Smith on.
I remember when we all started out here. It was hard. Hard making a living. This country is great because of hard-working men. Don't let us forget who our friends are, nor who are our enemies.
Stop sniffing around that Puata girl.
She's on the bus every morning. What am I supposed to do?
Ignore her. We all know what those Puatas are like.
Want to come to the movies?
Sure.
Simeon, you will no longer be attending the Patutahi cinema.
Why?
You remind me of him sometimes.
Of grandfather?
Men fight for what they want. That's a way of the world, Simeon.
You're not a man yet.
Grandfather's only trying to toughen you up.
He is toughest on the kids that he believes in. The ones that might amount to something.
You think you can hold this family together? A man fights for his family, Simeon. who is nothing.
Okay, we're ready to go. Everybody's happy. Timekeeper's right. Not quite. Shannon Warner's is ready. Everybody should be ready. Oh, we've got a bit of a swap around. Oh, that looks like a beautiful one, Martini. Righto, we'll have you. Thank you. He had 7 in the pen. You got to chuck one out. I don't think so. Timekeeper's good. Judges, competitors, go. Into the pen they go. The whole fresh lot of goose eggs up there to destroy. Here it goes. Time points at 20 seconds per point. 10 seconds are gone now and they flick the belly out the back. Righto, on the front stand. Needs not a lot of introduction in the last couple of years. This tall young fella on the front stand from Hastings these days. They come from up in the Coomera country in the past. Roland Smith. Martini Mason, the local hopeful, on stand number 2. Shannon Warnest, Evergreen, by golly. Once again here to shear for Australia at the Masterton Golden Shears. Dion King, a past winner from Hastings. Apparently he's moving to the Wairarapa. He says, let me at these sheep, I love them. Down on stand number 6, Tony Costa. He's back again, the lad from Ricaya. He's a big lad though, as he comes down the last side, and he's a great shearer of both the crossbred and the fine wool. Down the far end we have Troy Piper. Boy, did he set the pace alight last year. He just flew into the final. Really made a name for himself. Come up here a little bit underprepared, that he went away with a happy face. He said, the announcer luck I could have won. Well, here's another crack for these 6 guys. Let's see if they can keep the time frame up at 1 minute and 38 seconds gone so far. Of course, 7 minutes is the fastest, so 7.5 seems to be about the average for the quicker ones, and 8 for some of the slower heats. So they've got a bit of work to do. Tuma, we'll give them all the encouragement we can without actually picking on them.
Yeah, you did right, John. Just watching young Roland Smith. Some of these ewes are quite, they got quite a lot of wool on them. The wool length seems quite long, longer than it usually is. So there's a little wee bit more work in these girls. 1 minute 6 was Roland's first sheep. That one was a little bit quicker. That was 1 minute 4. So he's actually picking up speed. But here we go. We've got young Martini, as you say. He's the local hopeful. Down the last side he comes. Some of these shearers just look a little wee bit casual up there, in the heats. I know that, it's more about the quality in the heats, but, when you got Roland Smith there, he's going to try his best to put a sheep around these guys. So they need to try and get on that bandwagon with Roland Smith as he works his way around the head on sheep number 3, Martini Mason, and he runs for his 3rd sheep. Shannon Warnest on stand number 3. I don't know how many times he's been with the Aussie team, probably more times than I can remember. Great competitor. He's been a former world champion. And he loves these crossbred sheep here in Masterton. Dion King, he's been a previous winner here. He's on stand number 4. He's brought a farm, and that's what he's up to these days. He's doing a bit of farming, and he's loving it. We've got Dr. Costa down there on stand number 5. Here he goes. He's a nice, easy shearer. He's got a nice light hand. It just looks like his gear just touches that wool and it falls off. And that's that Dr. Costa down there on stand number 5. And Troy Piper, as John was saying a little bit earlier on, that he set the place alive last year in the final. He was into it. And he's a real good guy too. We had the speed share at Cheltenham, and he had a new name. His name was Troy Parker. So we thought, well, that's a bit like Batman. Spider-Man, Spider-Man, Mr. Parker. And that's him down there on stand number 6. But here we go. We've got Roland Smith on stand number 1. He's the current world champion. He's dropping down to long blow. By the looks of things, the sheep that he's shearing now are a lot more open than what he started off with. And that's what they call farming the pen. Some guys, they like to start biggest to smallest. Others like to do their best one first, just to try and get a bit of a flow on, and then biggest to smallest. Others like to do their woollier headed ones first and then move down to the ones with no wool at all on the heads and socks. So that's how a lot of these shearers will work. They call it farming their pen, Gerald.
Yeah, that's right, Tuma, or picking your pen. Well, he's definitely lifted it up. He couldn't get any rhythm on that first one. He just couldn't get going for whatever reason. But he's got rid of those nerves or whatever it might be, thinking of all these people watching him at the moment. And he's starting to settle into his work now. Went for a handpiece change, probably not because of the cuts off, just probably because he wants to try that other comb. So that's all good. He is the leader of the pack here. Sheep 5, one left standing for him. Martini Mason. Over the shoulder he goes. And on the journey home. That's where they've got to really work their left hand there. Goes back for a wee, but he's still got his revision mirrors on. When you see that, it means they're still making sure their job is dead right when they start just looking back, thinking, oh yeah, they just haven't got the blinkers on, we're just going to keep on going forward. So we know his job's going to be okay, but Smith at this stage is starting to hit the turbo charge. He's lifting another gear. We've seen this numerous times. He's got this ability to come off the blocks and go straight to the front, and he just pours the power on and pours the speed on. But talking about power, last year from the Australian team that won here, Shannon Warnest, and yeah, he has represented well. He's been the 10 times national champion, and yeah, he's a world champion as well, so past world champion. But he was the one that led. He drafted the boys, the other Aussie boys, and said, follow me. And it was a massive display of power shearing. Incredible event to watch, so it was. And then we've got Dion King down there. Yeah, you've heard a lot about him. He also got a world record, of course, of 866 lambs in 9 hours. Now do the maths on that. It's this basic mass is just about 100 lambs an hour. Now can you imagine that? Someone get your calculator out and work out what that is per lamb for seconds. But it's not many, and you've got to do that for 9 hours. Now that is serious energy expended. Here we go. A bit of a warm-up though for Roland Smith. Running time 6:45, well and truly our quickest time. His points up above are good, as we would expect. The pen out the back at the moment is 7, but that's not confirmed because there's still some to be judged. And the board is confirmed at 2.5. Then down we go to Tony Costa. Now Tony Costa, beautiful shearer. He's the reigning PGG Wrightson's multi-breeds here actually, and also runs a courier business as well. So he's multitasking at the same time, Tony Costa, as he heads round towards the long blow on the last and final one. Then as we work our way down there, we've got the inky pinky one heading out there by Troy Piper. And yes, he made the big final here last year. He built confidence and took off from there and won 2 shows after that down towards the middle of the South Island. I think he might have won Christchurch and another one down there. So he's been in and amongst it now and enjoying it. This young fella, he's got young, strong muscles on him. He's determined. He's got a good series of people around him that are encouraging him, keeping him honest, keeping his blows where they should be, keeping his diet right. You will not break the top unless you are willing to make sacrifices in other areas of your life. And that's just it, because the rest are willing to do that. So finishing touches here, John Martini Mason and Shannon Warnest is strong as an ox. He puts just a little wee finger on that one. Said, settle down, young lass. Welcome over here, Shannon. Great to see you again. Good luck from here on in. And the finishing touches by Mason, one of your local boys. Right out the toenail he goes. What's that? Heat 9. Give it up, please, ladies and gentlemen. Super round of applause.
Yeah, Heat 10 coming up, Rick.
Yeah, Heat 10, ladies and gentlemen. Nathan Stratford will shear on stand 1, Sam Welsh on 2, Justin Dolphin will shear on 3, Mark Granger on 4, John Kirkpatrick on 5. 5 competitors in this heat, ladies and gentlemen. Heat 11, Jack Fagan, David Buick, Gavin Mulch, Axel Reid. And Heat 12, which will be our final heat for the afternoon, Ethan Pankhurst, Andy Mainland, Darren Ford, Dick Baum.
This is the last event, of course, the open elimination round of the day. We will have 12 heats of it. At the completion of the 12th heat, the open 30, top 30 will be named, and then we will break for the evening siesta and come back at 6:45 for a start on the Friday evening program. We have a green light, we have a thumbs up from the referee, he's quite happy. We just need those 5 shearers on the board, please. Well, we've got Nathan Stratford out, and he's normally last to come out, so everybody else should be bouncing. Hello. Sam Welsh. His wife was talking to him before, she said, I threw one out and say threw one in, so you've got it, so you've got to shear it, Sam. It'll be fine. It'll be fine, Sam. You get one chucked out, you get no choice of what comes in, so that's the devil you know, devil you take. Let's go. Excuse me, Mr. Referee. Pull him out of there, please. Okay. Everybody's happy. Timekeepers are good. Judges, competitors, go. This time round, just 5 competitors, as you will see in the next couple of heats as well. It's just one way of spreading it out. Better than just having 2 competitors in the last heat. So there's still a lot of competition up here. Just means the judge down the far end gets a little bit of a rest. But he'll be spooked down along the board later on in the shear. 6 sheep to shear once again, and on the front stand, Nathan Stratford from Invercargill. The Strat Man, they call him. By golly, he just loves competing. Open class now for a few seasons. Picked up the pace, very high quality young shearer. Down on stand number 2 from Tuakau, Sam Welch, world record holder, contractor, lives shearing at the moment. Justin Dolphin, the Australian, on stand number 2. Well, they've shone very well in their heat so far, probably just lacking a little bit of the pace, but they're saving themselves for the test tomorrow night, who knows. On stand number 4, we have Mark Granger from Tigawiti, another King Country team that travel south on the annual pilgrimage to Masterton. You see his father down the audience, he won the competition way back in 1985. So there's Paul, it's in your blood, young Mark. And I'm sure you'll be trying your best. Down the far end, well, who's that fella? Anybody know him? Johnny Kirkpatrick. Napier. That's where he has his letterbox. But he's all over the country, this fella. Eh? I think he just gets the video mail and that comes on the phone. That's how he pays his bills. Or perhaps he works that hard. He doesn't have any bills racking up. Beautiful shearer, past Golden Shears winner. Hey, he'll be just loving this challenge here today. Lovely, good sheep from the Ikarangi. So sheep number 3 coming onto the board for these guys. 2 minutes and 16, so just a shade over that 2 minutes. Timmer, a little bit paced back off of what Smithy did last time round.
Yeah, you did right, Johnny. These guys are a little wee bit off the pace, but, you know, they're looking comfortable up there. Just watching that Johnny Kirkpatrick, he had a few problems with the shoulder. He's had it operated on, and He looks like he's firing on all 4 cylinders at the moment. He looks nice and relaxed. The flow, the blows are just flowing in. The sheep are not kicking him around. If you get under a little bit too much pressure, you often will squeeze the sheep up and then they will start kicking on you. So his sheep are looking fairly comfortable at the moment, and he's just shearing away nicely. We've got young Mark Granger on stand number 4. He's round the head he goes. He's made a few finals. He's been second to Rowley a few times. So he'll be quite keen to make it through into the top 30. One step at a time is how he'll be thinking to himself. So just make the top 30. We've got Justin Dolphin on stand number 3. He's part of the Australian team. He's a good young shearer as well. He looks like his gear is flowing away nicely. Daniel McIntyre and Shannon Warness would have been filling him in on the kind of gear to use here at the Golden Shears. We've got Sam Welch on stand 2. Sam's having a good shear. Sam was another one. I think he had a bit of bone stuck in his hip. And he had that operated on. He's just starting to move a little bit more freely. And you can really tell just by the way he's moving around these sheep. He runs in for sheep number 4. And on stand number 1 from Invercargill, Nathan Stratford. Nathan Stratford, I think he was the winner of the PGG last year. And they get to drive away on a Santa Fe, I think it is. They use it for the year. So he might be a little wee bit sad that the Goldies has rolled around again so quick. But then again, he's probably happy because he's got a chance to win the use of another one for a year. So that's these guys up here, ladies and gentlemen. I think there's another 3 heats left after these guys. Usually the saying is under 30 is top 30, but the way things are looking at the moment, it might be looking at sort of 34, 33, 34, Gerald.
Yeah, it could be round there, Timmy. You did right. Johnny K pulls out, talking about picking a pen. Look at that for sheep number 5 to arrive for Johnny K. It sits well for him. And he is flowing a lot better, as you say. He's on that recovery mood. Hopefully his rehabilitations went well. They don't normally get much of a break, these fellas. They have to work their way through injuries. And yeah, there's 2 or 3 up there. Very difficult to be doing sheep shearing for a living, carrying an injury. And yeah, there's Sam Welsh is doing a wee bit. I know Stratty's not 100% either. And hopefully Johnny K's down there. But they'll put that aside and get on with the job to be done as Johnny K. We've had so many magnificent commentaries on him. He's lifted the rafters off many stadiums around the place. Terrific shearer, incredible pattern. He has a pattern that is so precise that sometimes in a final just every single sheep is exactly the same as the other one. Just not even a glitch, not a millimetre out. Every last side's the same. As you're getting right now, 1 left standing. Keep an eye on that and hopefully makes the top 30. Just take note then as well. Move your attention down to the front stand and Nathan Stratford. I know a wee bit about this guy because he's down my way. Stratty, we do call him the stratosphere. He does have the fastest hand-eye coordination I've seen. We've always called him young Stratty, but he's got a wee bit of age on his side now. He's into the 40s. But by jolly, he is as clean as a whistle. He wins competition. See that there, ladies and gentlemen? I sat beside him once upon a time in my own shearing shed when he was shearing, and I told him, I said, you leave some wool on that, Nathan. I'm frightened the stuff won't grow back. That's how he shears in the shed at the same time. Okay, but see how clean that is. He wins. He doesn't shout from the rooftops when it comes to the finals. He makes the finals, oh yeah. He makes them right, but he wins them on sheer quality. And every shearer that's up there with him knows we're going to have a sheep round Stratty. He mightn't get all the attention from the commentators, but when it comes to podium time, he can come back with his job on the board and job outside and take first place, as he has for numerous years. So they're on to him. They know what he's up to, and he doesn't know any other grey areas left to say. Is that Johnny K doing the last and finishing touches? I think it is, ladies and gentlemen. Give him a super round of applause. Johnny Kirkpatrick, great to have you here at the Golden Shears, mate. Yeah, so Stratty, he puts out a perler job, but he just doesn't know anything else. It has to be like that. He doesn't play the ref. He doesn't throw out any roughies and then tidy them back up. No, everyone has to be put out of that level. So he's on the journey home too. Mark Granger of Tikawiti, and you're dead right. I saw Paul over there before. He's here to watch him. Come on, son, get into it. Stratty's finished. Great to have you up here too, Stratty. Thanks for coming all the way from the deep south. Great to see you here. Mark Granger's come over for a look as well. Good luck, Mark. Hope you make that top 30, mate. Sam Welsh on the journey home. Look at the muscles on this guy. No wonder he's a two-stand world record holder. Right out the toenails he goes. He's wrapped up too, ladies and gentlemen. Heat 10. We've only got 2 left. 2 heats left. And we're done it. We're down to the top 30. And once again, you don't just get in the top 30. You've got to go pretty well. These guns, whether it be Troy Piper or Johnny Kay, they're not wandering along the front here. You'll see them wandering along here looking at these points, knowing they need a pretty good shear to make it. Justin Dolphin, well, he's come a wee way. He's come across the ditch. Good to have you here too, mate. Give him a round of applause, please, ladies and gentlemen, as he goes in for the red button.
Thank you, fellas. Heat 11. On the board now, please, Jack Fagan, David Buick, Gavin Mulch, Axel Reid. Heat 12, Ethan Pankhurst, Andy Mainland, Darren Ford and Dick Baum.
So just looking at the score up there, the yellow points above the shearer stand there, 31.3 for Nathan Stratford. Johnny Kay's got a 29.072. So you'd think that Nathan and, oh, here we go. Starting at the top, Johnny Kay goes to the top. Half a point behind is Aaron Haynes, Murray Henderson, Dion King, Nathan Stratford in 5th, Angus Moore, Tama Near, Tony Costa, Casey Bailey, Pirata Abraham. That are the top 10. We've got a green light up there. Gentlemen, can we have you on the board, please? And, of course, the next 10 are up there. Troy Piper, Hemi Braddock, Rolly Smith, and so on. Stand 2. Okay. We're all ready to go. Timekeepers right. Judges, competitors, go. Well, we've only got half the field, or at least 4 competitors this time round. And we've got Jack Fagan here on the front stand. Tika Woody, he was second in the speed cheer last night. David Buick from Pongaroa, another hopeful for the Wairarapa. On stand number 2. On 3 we have it Gavin Much under the Scottish flag at the moment, but he's lives with his family up in the Taranaki on the Eastern Hills. Whangabomana. And Axel Reid, the fellow that just loves competing at competitions from Daiapi. Hey, how many Ks has this young fella travelled over the last 15 years? He's been hoeing into the sheep during the week and hoeing off to the competitions on the weekends for as long as he can remember. He comes over the shoulder, but it's Gavin Much, 58 seconds. That's pretty sharp. He knew that Rolly Smith had put a quick one out, and he sure is sheeping just on 7 minutes. Oh, sorry, 6:45. And then, of course, there was a couple of 7-minute jobbies just been done, and now Gavin Much says we're right amongst them here. Jack Fagan says, well, I better stick with the pace. David Buick down the first off leg. He's about to swing as Much drops into the long blow. This flying Scotsman to me. He says, I've won it last year. I'm going to hope to repeat the performance.
You sure did right. He's got a lovely little sheep there too as he gets chops down to the long blow. 1 minute and 39 seconds and he's about to turn to the last side. We've got David Buick on stand number 2. He's dropping into the long blow as well. Jack Fagan, up the neck he goes. Good to see Jack here. We've got Axel Reid down there on stand number 4. Round the head, young Axel goes. Talking to young Axel, he reckons he'd love to make the semis here this year. So that's the way, Axel. Keep that bottom tooth glued to the skin, mate, and let it go. But here we go. Look at this Gavin Much. He's making it look fairly easy at the moment. 2 minutes and 6 seconds, so he's a minute 6 for that one. A little bit off the pace, but he's got some fairly nice looking sheep coming out at the moment. Not a lot of sock wool on them, so he'll dispose of them pretty easily there, Gerald.
Yeah, thanks, Tuma. Yeah, he's getting up and round them. He's got 3 really good ones. Whether he's just got a super pen in there, he's just making them look super. He's just going to make it happen, and they'll do that as well. Jack Fagan in for his 3rd one, pulls it out. But let's just put our eyes on this Gavin Much, your reigning champion here from last year, ladies and gentlemen. He's firing those shots, and you can tell he's flowing well. You can see how he's flexing well. Okay, if you get really nervous and tied up, and for whatever reason, you start trying to, locking up. Your forearm will lock up on your handpiece, and you become very disjointed and robotic-like. And it's not very easy to get round corners when you don't bend and twist as one should do. And you'll see that in finals. But at this stage, the Gavin Much, the Taranaki sheep and beef farmer, is flowing absolutely sensational. David Buick just in front of him there, sheep number 3 for him, and the finishing touches are done. He made the, memory serving me right, made the Wrightson's event last year of the multi-breed. So he's in and amongst it too, and wouldn't it be good to see David up there and making another one of these big finals this year? We'll lift the roof off this place, all right, we'll get him behind him. I know all you locals are really keen to have one of your boys up there giving it everything they've got. All that local blood and local training. Up the neck he goes and breaks it nice and clear. Jack Fagan, what's he got here now? You can see that very dry cutting. They're really having to drive this wool off. And it possibly suits Gavin Much, actually, because that is his style, naturally. His style is to literally put the bit between your teeth and go. Don't just grab hold of the handpiece with a couple of 3 fingers. As you'll see, you watch when he comes around here the first hind leg. No, you don't do that. You grab hold of it as though your life depends on it, and you push it. And that suits his style, and that's what he's got going down here. So keep an eye on that as the night unfolds later on in the top third if he makes it through. At this stage, looking really good. Up and into the base of the ear he goes once again. Sheep 5, 1 left standing. Axel Reid, how's he getting on? He's on the 4, but supporting the Golden Shears. He likes the limelight and all these lights here, and he wants to catch up with his mates. It's a shearing and wool handling family or community, whatever you want to call it. Once you've been part of it, that's just it. It's a bit like going to boarding school. When you went to boarding school as a 13-year-old boy and left at 17, when you see those boys, those 100 boys that you live with for 4 years, if you see them up the street, it's just like seeing another family member. Okay, real close-knit society. As Much. What's he going to do there? He's going to go for a handpiece change, did he? Or just scratched a bit of grease off the back. Couldn't quite see for the judges. But pulls out another little perler. So yeah, Axel Reid might be down here to have a few beers, catch up with a few, tell a few stories, talk about a few tallies, a few great trips they've been on, what's happening with the family and the bits and pieces like that. So top knot comes off once again for Much, onto the last side for a Buick from Pongaroa. Out to the toenails, and Jack Fagan, he's got a little beauty there too. You can see it's nice and small. If it's nice and small and sits, of course you've got less room that you've got to go over. So you can, miss out a blow on the last side, miss out a blow on the long blow, all these sorts of little things that these open shearers know about, and it just makes you that little bit quicker. So it's all go, John. I'll let you, finishing touches for Gavin Much, we'll let you bring them home from here.
Well, just looking at the time going past, it's 6 minutes and 10 seconds as he's going to bounce this one out in 12, 13, 14, hits the button. That is 30 seconds faster than Rolly Smith at this stage. So I don't know quite how the quality points look, roughly about the same perhaps, a 1.7 and a 5.2. Axel Reid's got one in the pen. He says, how did that happen? Well, you just kept your head down, mate, and just keep burrowing because you got another 40-odd seconds to go and you'll be finished your lot as well. Jack Fagan around the back of the head here on the front stand. David Buick says, well, thanks, Gavin, for dragging me along, but I need to finish now with a fast flurry as he comes across the shoulder. And he's still doing pretty well on the board up the top two, just a 2 at the moment. Down and out to the flank. Swooping blows the young fella from Pongaroo. Well, maybe not so young anymore, but He's still younger than a lot of us, and there he goes, bangs that one out the porthole, flashing lights for him, and he gets it done in just a shade over 7 minutes, so that's pretty useful. Jack Fagan out the last leg. Gavin Much has certainly done the job of dragging him along. And there we go, turning for home there is Axel Reed down on the far side. 7 minutes and 25 elapsed so far, and these guys, as things start to warm up during the day, ladies and gentlemen, the grease just starts to flow a little bit better on the sheep. And those sheep that were first on the truck, they're the real smart ones, you know, and they come in at the back end of the job here, and they're obviously warmed up by being jammed in the pen. So well done, shearers, move off, and we wish you the best of luck. It looks like there could be a couple in that lot that might make through. Ooh, there'll be some nervous lots in the other 30 odd that have already had their names in the lights. Now we're into the 12th and final heat, ladies and gentlemen. A young fella on the front and an older fella, a more experienced fella down the back, I should say. And a couple of likely lads in the middle.
Yeah, we've got to get them right, Sean.
Mainland. He's been around a while too, by golly. Just can't get that shearing out of your blood, can you? I'm just hoping my cutters are going to get too thin and float in the water trough and wash off out into the grass.
Yeah, that's when you...
That's the only time I think I'll give up.
You throw your toolbox off the bridge then, John.
Okay, we're good to go in the 12th and final. Everybody's happy, timekeeper's right, judges, competitors, go into the pen. Woohoo! Ethan Pankhurst, he's a young chappie. Hey, first up here in the open for here at the Golden Shears for him. And just a senior shearer from the past, but great quality shearer. He says, I'm going to go for the big one this time round. Andy Bainland from Karpuka. Down the first off leg. He's been around here for a day or two. I've talked about him for a couple of decades or more. Darren Ford, the ever-present shearing monster from down the south, by golly. Tell him, man, this fella, he can whip him out. He's an iron man of the shearing game. A legend. And he rocks on, and he's back here in 2016. He says, I've still got another couple in me. Coming across the shoulder on the last side is Digger Balm. The old Tuakau flyer, we used to call him. He now domiciles in Tikawiti with his family, farming in that region, and still a regular visitor to the shearing competitions. He just does not know when to give up. Referees a bit of rugby now and again too, so he's got other sporting interests. I see the Whānau sitting in the seats. They'll be hoping secretly Dad gets through to the next round. In they go. Rhino Pankhurst steps in. A little bit off the pace. 1 minute and 25 for him. Digger Balm and Darren Ford blow for blow. Andy Mainland says, well, I've got another one on the board. Let's get this job done. Still pretty low scores up there at the moment, so the sheep are actually behaving just quite quietly at the moment, and the shearers are not making the mistakes. But we need to keep these fellas going. They were 6 minutes and what last time? 6 minutes and 14 seconds, Tuma, for Gavin Much in that last heat.
Yeah, Gavin, much. Just looking at the points that were up there before, it looks like about 34 is going to be the cutoff, below 34. So these guys here, if they want to get through, they're going to need to pick up their game, keep the hammer going, keep the sweat flowing. We've got Digger Balm and Darren Ford. These two gentlemen have done battle over the years on these stages. You know, they sort of know each other's game. And so, you know, like, they'll be like just trying to use each other to bring each other on so that they can hopefully get through and make it through in that top 30. And in Mainland there on stand number 2, he's a good little young shearer. Just using a half a comb. What he's trying to do is just make sure that it doesn't leave any ridges on any of these sheep, because once these sheep are finished on the board, they go out the back and they get turned from one side to the other side, and then they get lifted up so that the judge can see right underneath the belly, underneath the legs. The only thing they don't check are their teeth and between their hooves. So here we go. That's what happens out the back. And then the judge will score them. And once the scores have been judged, once the sheep have been judged, they'll punch it into a little computer. And that's when it'll come up on the big screen up there. But here we go. Darren Ford, he's thrown another little honey out and reaches in, grabs another one. He'll be looking at Andy Mainland thinking, come on, Andy, you need to pick it up, mate, or I'm going to put a sheep around you. Digger Balm down there on stand number 4, finishing touches for him, Gerald.
Yep, finishing touches for the mighty Digger Balm, and he decides we need a handpiece change. Sheep 4. The two of them, Digger Balm went in just quick, you know, just before down there 2 sheep ago, and Darren popped up and he smiled and thought, the game is on. There's a game within a game, or a competition within a competition. There's a lot at stake here as far as egos and that go, ladies and gentlemen. When you're a shearer, you just shear your heart out to be the fastest. There's just something about it. It's a bit like a fishing story, isn't it? Having the biggest fish. So Darren is just into it, and Digger's chasing hard now. But in front of Darren, yes, we've got Andy Mainland. So Andy came up here 10 days ago with his girlfriend Kim, and he's been shearing up here, getting the feel of these sheep, understanding, you know, what sort of cutting they might be and the like. So he's at the serious end. He's not mucking around, Andy. He's not going to make the numbers up, I can tell you that, as he goes in for a handpiece change too. Then we've got Ethan Pankhurst from Masterton, one of your local, born and bred here, ladies and gentlemen. Last year, no, it wasn't last year, 2 years ago, of course, he won the senior. So the mighty shearer, he actually dominated the senior that year, Ethan. Then last year, it was actually Brett Roberts dominated the senior. But I tell you what, this year the senior is going to be a very interesting series, really, because no one has actually really dominated. There's probably 7 or 8 that have been winning shows and bits and pieces, but that's how it is. So this is going to be very, very interesting. But right at the moment, we're into the open Golden Shears sponsored event, and we've got the mighty Darren Ford. He's a shearing contractor now on the outskirts of Invercargill, so he's got other things on his mind as well. He's got dogs to sort and meals to organise and vans and shearers and sheds to sort and dry sheep and all those sorts of things. But here he is under the bright lights. He's taken the plane trip, one left standing in the pen, all the way up to the toenails with Digger on his heels, chasing him hard with that Digger style where he just gets into it. He's another man, very similar to the Gavin Mutcher style of grab hold of that handpiece, meaning business, and attack the situation. Okay, if there's something going on, he wouldn't be the type to freeze or run. He's the type to attack, to go towards it, and that's his innate sort of system that's inside his body. He just wants to get on with it, get the job done. Don't go thinking about it too much, just get in there and get it done. And here we are on the lasting finishing touches for Ford as he bangs 2 up the back. Digger pulls out a little beauty. This is our last and final heat, John, I think it is, isn't it? Last bellies to fly for these two. The legend, 2 legends actually beside each other. 2 very, very tough men. Up the undermine, but it's long blow time for Darren Ford. The youngsters on the front toiling away here, also trying to make that top 30. The cheek wool's gone for Ford. Gets the leg out of the way to let the wool fall away. He's on the journey home now, cleans up under the arm. Here he goes, pulls the comb right up. What's the running time? 6 minutes 49. Out to the toenails, cleans all the sock up. It looks nice and pink from here. Goes for the red button. Put your hands together, please, ladies and gentlemen. Super shear. Look at that lovely one there by Andy. It is as clean as a whistle. He's got one left standing. Darren did give him the blinker. And then here we are, the Digger Balm. Great stuff, Digger. Give it up for Digger Balm. Super Shear. Right, we're down to these two youngsters, John. John will be right. Well, Andy has made, you know, round the bottom of the South Island there, he's made a few finals, a lot of plate finals and a few finals. So he's a bit like Nathan Stratford, really. He's not going to let his job go. We know it's going to be clean as a whistle, and in this case, he hoped that it's going to pull him through into that top 30. And then Ethan Pankhurst, well, he's in that transition stage now of going from the senior to the open, and it takes some hard graft in the shed and some long, hard hours of training on the shearing, training mentally and physically, and swimming and cardio and the likes. Well done, Ethan. One of your locals, ladies and gentlemen. Give it up for Ethan Pankhurst. And all the way from Kapuka, just on the outskirts of Invercargill as well. The finishing touches for Andy Mainland. Once again, a round of applause, please.
You did say it was a beautiful sheep, and he had certainly had the quality there right to the end. 2.7, 5.2 outside. Nothing wrong with that. Just in a very short while, ladies and gentlemen, the top 30 will be out. So if you can just bear with us as our wool staff remove and tidy up before the last event. This is the last event on the card this afternoon. The time now is almost 10 to 4. So we will endeavour to have that top 30 out by 4 o'clock. I don't see any reason why we can't. And then we'll adjourn for the afternoon and come back for this evening's program to start at 6:45. Cheers. Okay, looks like we've got, I missed the first 10. There we go. Gavin Much, top qualifier. John Kirkpatrick, Diggerbaum, Aaron Haynes, Murray Henderson, David Buick, Dion King, Darren Ford, Nathan Stratford, Angus Moore, and another 10. Tamanini, Tony Costa, Casey Bailey, Parada Abrahams, Jack Fagan, Troy Piper, Hemi Braddock, Rolly Smith, Jimmy Samuels, Shelford Wilcox, and Andy Mainland, Dion Morrell, Axel Reed, Sam Welsh, Adam Browse, Mark Granger, Brett Roberts, Justin Dolphin, Grant Smith and Martini Mason. We have some locals in there. That's good. And who was the unlucky one? Who was unlucky? Oh, an Australian. Damn. Anyway, well done, those top 30 competitors, and we will see them back tonight. We have pressing first up this evening, and then, of course, we move into the open top 30. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you later on.
Cheers.